you crooner, high-waisted, panted weirdo.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I'm Ramona Ramirez Higgins. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. What do we say? It was sad.
It was so bittersweet. Like, my heart was wrenching. I'm just so sad for everyone. Because it would have been sad enough with the dissolution of Kyle and Amanda without all the added bullshit. But man, the added bullshit makes it extra painful.
Evil.
Yeah.
A filter of evil. A filter of diabolicalness.
Amanda seems like the bigger offender in a lot of ways. Like, watching that first scene of In the City with her going like, I would never cheat on you. You cheated on me. I know what it feels like, didn't it? I'm like, you're too... The lady doth protest it, like, but I don't know, and I'll never know, and like I say, I'll never believe anything she says. So like, I don't know if they got together and it was a legitimate time frame or not. But like, you're a liar. You're a liar, period. And so anything you say is irrelevant now, and that's such a uncomfortable place to live in.
Totally.
West was already a liar, so it's like it's kind of like yeah, but Amanda, what a number she pulled on us.
She really did. And I am a hashtag April 2025 truther. I am. I absolutely am. In the City, I'm sure we'll talk about that when we get to like what else did we watch. But I mean, it's Summer House related. Like when she and Kyle were having the conversation, Kyle, nothing happened. I'm all, nothing happened. That is like,
well, he asked, did you have an emotional affair? And she goes, nothing happened. And I'm like, is that a yes or a no? On a stand in a courtroom, the answer to that question would have to be a yes or a no. And you didn't give either one of those, which makes me feel weird.
It makes me feel real weird. It makes me feel real certain.
And I also feel like every time she stayed at a hotel, she just banged it out with West 24/7.
It was so gnarly. It was so gnarly.
Her mood is different. She moves different. I'm like, you are getting laid on the reg, and she's not even playing the victim well anymore because she's obviously happy. Mm-hmm. And we should be happy for her, but because she's like a liar and keeping secrets, it's not. It's just such a shame. It's all such a shame.
It is a shame. It is a real shame. And rewatching with Josh is really, it's been out there the whole time. And there are so many people that are like, I have been saying this. There's that GIF from Arrested Development. There's dozens of us. I tell you, dozens of us. The never nudes.
Oh yes.
And there are dozens of people, talking online about how we have been screaming into the void for 10 seasons about what a piece of shit this girl is, and no one believed us. And again, it's because all of my attention was on the terribleness of Kyle. I saw something interesting. God, which social media app did I see it on? But I think it's relevant to bring it up. Maybe just a point of interest, maybe just for entertainment purposes. Someone said, if you watch this interview from like one of the first seasons of Summer House, it's Kyle and Amanda, and someone asked Kyle, they were like doing like a relationship game where what's your partner's favorite guilty pleasure TV? And so right away they both wrote down Bravo, specifically Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So then Amanda starts talking like, so yes, her answer is Bravo and the Real Houses of Beverly Hills is what he guessed, but that's her guilty pleasure on TV. Take the guilt away. I just find it a pleasure. Anyway, we've talked about that many, many times on our podcast. My point is that the person who made the TikTok or the post or whatever, they showed this clip, and he mentioned that he knew the people from Vanderpump Rules, and this was very intriguing to her. Oh, yeah. He said he was going to be taping a show for Bravo. And then he knew the people from Vanderpump Rules. Because I think on season 1, that's when Stassi was there. Remember, he called her Steve Jobs because she was wearing that bathing suit with the high mock neck turtleneck. So people were speculating Amanda, her whole reason for wanting to be with Kyle was that he was going to be on Bravo, which was her favorite network. So, I mean, it's entirely possible. Because why else would she have stayed with him? She was fucking miserable the whole time. They were both miserable the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, but she was young and, I don't know. But I don't think she did the marriage to stay on TV. Like, that's just a lot, Like, I think they did love each other. And if this West thing hadn't happened, this episode would have felt so different. Their conversation on those steps would have broken my heart because it would have felt like the truthful closing out of a chapter where both people really wanted something to work and it was just never going to make it. But because she twisted in her friend's ex who lives under the same roof, it all just became so, it's easy to look for reasons to hate her because it's a hateable choice she made, especially with how Ciara, this episode in particular, Ciara and Mia give everything they have to Amanda on a friendship level, and she gives nothing back. She takes. And yeah, it's a shame, She needed to get out of her marriage. I get that. But like the West Wilson piece she'll grow from that in some way, shape, or form because it certainly won't last, but she'll have to. It's going to end, So she'll be changed for it, and I hope it's for the better. But
I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen when it ends. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if Kyle and Amanda will get back together. I just wonder. I wonder a lot of things. So, in case you didn't guess, we are here to talk about Summer House, Season 10, Episode 16, the season finale called Ski Ya Later. Ski Ya Later.
So casual.
And I think that this season was going to be the swan song, so to speak, for Kyle, Amanda, and Lindsay, and that In the City was going to be their transition to still be able to be on Bravo and be on TV, but not have to do the Summer House thing anymore because at some point, Kyle and Amanda were going to start a family. Lindsay already has started a family. And so, yeah. So like the show within the show, the play within the play. I mean, we'll get there with the last scene, but what a mind fuck. It's just been a mind fuck to watch the latter half of the season. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but, still. Anyway.
Yeah, so weird. Well, we get into it. We're back at the après-ski party, and I just thought this was interesting that Kyle says to Ben, who would have guessed that pulling your pecker out in Italy would have led to this? And it just immediately brings me back to Ben yelling at Bailey about, like, don't suggest I would do that. But it's just open, ha-ha fun to talk about how you pulled your dick out. I keep trying to come around on Ben, man. Like, I want to be happy that he's in love and all that stuff. But I'm like, you only made amends to Bailey by kissing her. You never, like, I guess they did have a conversation, but it wasn't, I don't know. Whatever. I found him to be an unsatisfying character this season. I feel icky when he's on the screen and I just want him to go away.
I get that. I do. And I have been thinking about it a lot, about why I have compassion for him, which is not, I don't often have compassion for these kinds of people on these shows. Maybe it means I'm cultivating more compassion for myself than I think I'm doing, which would be great. I'm super psyched if that's what's going on. If that's not what's happening, I know I'm definitely trying to be more aware of things, just practice awareness of my own thoughts. That's what my therapy is all about right now, is just awareness, and practice. But speaking of awareness, when it comes to Ben, is that when he dropped these little nuggets along the way about what his childhood was like, it explains it all. And I totally get it. Like, okay, so tell that to Bailey. My dad didn't talk to me for years because I had sex with my high school girlfriend And so, but he hasn't put those things together yet. Only I am putting those things together for him. He hasn't gotten there yet. I hope that he does. I think it would be such a great thing for him to look at. I don't know if he will. It seems like if he's with someone like Sabrina, like I've shared before, I do believe that they are together for a cosmic healing and for the greater good of the both of them. And if he is compelled by this person that refuses to let him rest on his laurels, it's for a reason. But watching what built him, like hearing him talk about what makes him defended in the ways that he's defended, like we don't hear that from Kyle. All we see is that his family parties. We see the mom doing the beer bong. We see the grandma doing the beer bong, and the mom and the dad partying at the family reunions or whatever. But I don't know anything about Kyle's upbringing at all. Nothing. I know very little about Amanda's, but the stuff we learned about Ben was like, blow me back, It was gnarly. And I wonder if he knows, holy shit. Like, how you always talk like, yeah, and then you have that phenomenon when you're in college and you're like, wasn't everyone's family like this? And people are looking at you like, no, what are you talking about? It's like, Ben, it's not normal, dude. It's not normal for your parent to not talk to you for years because you did what teenagers do. It done fucked you up, dude. Go get some help now. Dig deeper, like untangle it. I acknowledge easier said than done, but I think the fact that he's vocalized these bombshell things that have shaped him are what's making me have a soft spot for him. He's like ahead of Kyle in that respect. I don't know. Yeah. I keep thinking about it when we talk about him. Anyway.
Yeah, he's not like an overtly bad guy. Something about that. I mean, I should look into that, I guess. Something about that one moment has not left me. And that was, like at least 10 episodes ago. So I don't know. Something about it felt, he's been very mild ever since then. And I still am like, it makes me trust him even less because I'm just like, where are you looking into this? Kind of like what you're saying, like, go look into that. I guess maybe it's because I don't see that it bothers him, that it's unresolved. He's just
I feel like it bothers him a lot.
Oh.
I feel like his general morale is deeply troubled by things and the way
because of Bailey?
Just in general. It just seems like his general discomfort. He does not seem happy-go-lucky to me at all. He doesn't seem full-on burdened. But he does not seem, he does not have Jesse's energy. He doesn't have Wes's energy. He doesn't have Kyle's energy. He's a little, oh, God. Now I got to look for a different word. I refuse to use the word vibration. I refuse. He seems, it's not full on heaviness, but there's weight. There's weight.
There's not lightness.
There's not lightness, right. And
yeah,
he's not like, he's not even the kind of guy like, I can fix him. Like, that's West. That's Kyle. That might even be Jesse. But like, Ben is just kind of like, oof, there's a lot going on. Like, he's a simmer. He's simmering. And you don't know if it's going to be rage or like an insecurity freak out or an anxiety attack, but like something, it's almost hair trigger to me. But he wants to overcome it. That's why he hangs in with Kyle in those unsatisfying moments of like comforting him. That's why I was so moved when he had Kyle take his hat off to hug him. It's in there. He wants to connect. I just don't think he knows how because of his childhood. Sounds awful. Anyway, so reality TV was a blessing for him. What those producers told him on The Bachelor, you got to open up or you're out, dude. You got to open up.
It's true.
And then he decided to double down and go on this show. And now he's with a woman like Sabrina, which obviously we don't know her other than what she's shown us. But, she's like, blah, like I'm cut from that cloth. I get it.
Yeah, she's effusive and,
And so
yeah.
In some way, like This is all there for him. It's all here for him to look at. Ooh, I'm getting real medicine. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting real medicine. Anyway, okay.
Well, people who do have access to their emotions are all of the OGs in the summer house, because we check in with Amanda and Jesse. You know, this is the closing party of the summer, so everyone's getting sentimental and emotional, and Amanda and Jesse kiss each other on the cheek and exchange I love yous. And again, it's just all so sweet and innocent, you know, but then now knowing what I know, I'm like, is it sweet and innocent, or is Amanda like trying to get attention from Jesse too? Like, I just don't know who that woman is. And it's so disheartening. And then we see West and Ciara grinding on the dance floor, which is, you know, just, you know, setting up their whole storyline for this episode, which then promptly falls apart. So what are you
I
gonna
asked
do?
Josh, and I'll ask you too, do you think that West and Amanda and maybe some other people in the house, do you think that they were possibly rolling? Do you think that that's why West was able to be a little bit more honest and clear than he normally is?
Maybe I'm naive, but like
I don't know.
I can only relate it to, like, you know, the last day of college or the last day of summer camp. Like it is like rolling for me.
That's
Like
true.
my emotions are so heightened and so right at the surface, and there's an urgency to tell everyone how much I love them and what I love about them and how grateful I am for this period of time we've shared. Because even when I went to summer camp and would come back the following summer, it's a different experience. You can't capture whatever that was. So it is like Molly. It makes it impossible not to express that. And I think what makes me so sad about whatever is going to happen to this group of friends is that I believe they really do love each other. Like when Jesse and Ciara hugged at the end of this episode, it wasn't gross or sleazy. It was a hug that represented all they went through this summer. A flirtation that was misunderstood, some really bad choices on Jesse's part, an understanding after a difficult conversation, a sincere apology, and a re-entry into friendship, coming full circle to a really sweet, deep hug, you know? That I'm not suspicious of. Now every hug Amanda gives, I'm like, what are you doing? Are you the kind of girl who like gently shoves your thigh into the guy's crotch when you're hugging him just to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know what her deal is. But anyways, I guess my thought on this is relatively innocent in that it is just the last night of what West and Jesse said is their number one summer ever. So I imagine it felt that way to most. I mean, Kyle and Amanda have never had a good summer, so I don't know.
Not one good summer. Not one. Not
They've had
one.
like moments, but they've never had like a full, consistently like good arc over any one summer. But
It's wild. It's so crazy. Oh, I love it. I love that we get to watch it. I can't believe I sat on it for so long and was just like, mm-mm, mm-mm. But you know what? It came in exactly when it should have. So that's okay. It all worked out. And I'm here now. That's all that matters.
we are in it now.
We sure are.
Then we have Kyle and Ciara, and Ciara is picking Kyle's brain about the fight. The fight? Was that the fight last night?
It was the dinner
Yes.
party, the fuck
Yeah,
you.
that turned
Yeah, it
into
was.
the
God, I
Carl.
mean, what
Yeah.
have we been on this weekend for 4 episodes now? 3?
Yes. So Ciara asked Kyle how he's doing with regard to last night, and Kyle explains that eruption was a result of him not really knowing how to process Ciara's suggestion earlier in the day that he and Amanda take time apart. And Kyle, like, very directly says, I'm very scared for the future. And like, I believe him. I am too. And I'm not in that relationship, but I
Same.
worry about both of them. I'm like, ugh. Any change is terrifying. And a decade is a really significant chunk of time. And that is, it's hard to let go of that no matter how bad and sour it's gotten, you know?
Yeah.
So he said that a number of times this episode that he's scared. And I believe him. I don't believe anything Amanda says, but I believed Kyle.
His words and his behavior all lined up. His fear, his easy access to tears, his sty when they were doing the confessionals, that eye continues to like look affected by his stress. When they tape the confessionals, you know, like during the summer, he's wearing it. It's so stark. The difference between the two of them is so stark in this moment.
Who's Ciara and Kyle?
No, Kyle and Amanda.
Oh,
as their relationship is imploding. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really do wonder if that sty is a result of, you know, I've been in situations where I've been deceived as well. And it does, something physical happens to me when the other person isn't telling the truth. And I never piece it together until well after the fact. But I was in a relationship and there were, you know, outside activities that were not being admitted to. And I broke out in a full body rash. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And like, I believed the person I was with. You know, I knew something was wrong, but we'd talked about, are you distracted by another woman? And he was like, no. And I was like, all right, well, something's going on. We'll get to the bottom of it eventually. And then my body went poof, and like neck to wrist to ankle rash. And I wonder if Kyle's sty is a result of his body going like, you're not wrong, dude. Like something is wrong and it's all the shit you know and something else too.
That's what makes it extra terrible. That is, it's why I'm an April 2025 truther.
What does that mean?
That I believe that this has been going on since April of 2025. I believe Wes and Amanda, probably. Something. Wow. Boundaries were crossed. The emotional affair was already in full bloom, but something changed in the months leading up, in the recent months leading up to when they started shooting this season. It's
just so creepy. Wes hooking up with Ciara, that like the whole thing is just like, it's so filthy. It's hard for my little brain to believe it can be real. Yeah.
It's so disgusting. It's the most wild thing we've ever seen on this network since its inception.
Scandival was up there.
Scandival was up there.
There was video, FaceTime, and you know, it was gnarly. Lest we forget. I just care more about these people.
I care so much more. No offense, but yeah, I care so much more.
But I cared about Ariana.
I cared about Ariana as well.
That felt terrible.
I always thought that Sandoval was such a really? This is who you want to buy a house with? This dude? This poser? This fool? You know? Kyle is not my type of person. In many, many ways. I also don't want to rewrite history. I've sat on this behind this mic and I've talked mad shit about that man. He's triggered me so much. But at least I took him more seriously than Sandoval, I think.
Yes.
I didn't get narcissism vibes from Kyle. I believe that what you see is what you get. I got heavy narcissism vibes from Sandoval, though. And that's why I was like, oh, you don't see reality at all. Kyle was judgy. And he thought that things should be one way and his fucking live free or die shirts and just like, you know, so alpha. Like that is, I don't like that kind of man, but I at least felt like he was being honest with us. Do you know what I mean?
I thought Tom Sandoval was too stupid to lie. That's why I was floored. Because I was like, the fact that this guy could conceive of and pull off such a fucking ruse was like, that's what devastates me. Again, it's the cover up is always worse than the crime in my book. Always, always, always. I just find the lying impossible to hurdle. Like once it's happened, it's just never not a nagging presence.
Totally.
With the people in my life, you know.
Totally.
Who have chosen to do that on the big front. If you lie and tell me like, those shoes are cute and they're not, that's fine. But it's the big stuff like,
yeah.
I'm definitely not sleeping with anyone else. It's like, well, but you were, and that's crazy. Anyways, Ciara says that she tells Kyle she understands his fears, but calls him out on, you don't know how to express yourself. Are you going to lash out and say fuck you to people? You create irreparable damage in the process. Your words do hold weight, and innocent people, Carl, get caught in the crossfire. And she closes this out by saying, it makes it hard to be your friend. And that is a good friend right there. Ciara is such a good friend. She is so honest and so clear. about where she's coming from. And she's not attached to if she's right or wrong. She's just laying it out there to be like, she's hitting the ball across the net to be like, do you want to rally with this thing or what,
And here's what I notice about what she's said to Kyle. As someone who I have had my own experiences having outbursts. I don't want to say similar to Kyle, but coming from the same energy, because his refrain the entire summer, a lot of summers, the stress I'm under, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're hurting people. There is a different way for you to handle your stress that isn't going to
It diminishes everyone else's stress. I also hate that argument
too.
when people are like,
Absolutely.
I'm so stressed. I'm like, everyone is, at least in the last decade.
My point is that is still what he's saying. Instead of just taking it in and going, oh, I know. I hate that.
But he does here.
He does, but he also said, like, I'm under so much stress. Like, he said it so many times in this episode.
But not against Ciara. So she says, at the end of this, she says, I'm not saying this from a place of judgment. It's from a place of concern. And she says, we all support you. We want you to be happy. And we don't know if that's together or apart. And Kyle literally takes a breath and says, I hear you. I'm sorry. Which is something he's unable to do with his wife because they can't communicate. But I thought that was hopeful that Ciara was able to speak in a language that he could hear. And he, for once in his life, took a breath. And like,
he did.
I've never seen him do that when he's confronted. And I thought that was growth.
Yeah.
Or he was drunk. I don't know.
He was definitely drunk. Mm-hmm. It was so awful.
By the end, for sure.
Just the patheticness and the voice and the like, I just wanted to say, oh God.
What the dilly, yo?
And I hear what you're saying, that he said, I hear you and I'm sorry. But I feel like before that, at some point in that conversation, he said, and I could be misremembering, like, again, like the stress. And yes, everybody has stress, but your stress does not make what you're doing okay. It might make us understand why, but you've been doing it now for 10 summers.
Yeah, you've done nothing to manage your stress that
exactly
causes this kind of eruption every summer.
You want Amanda to change a laundry list of shit, and yet you keep doing the same thing too. And I want better for him. I do. So Ciara directs Kyle to apologize to Amanda for saying fuck you at dinner the night before. Just, just handle one thing at a time.
She's amazing. Ciara is just
incredible.
Amazing. She handled that so beautifully. And again,
she deserves so much better. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's also like, I was reading this essay someone wrote about, like, nobody gets what they deserve. I don't know. It's just, you just have to be who you are no matter who you're up against. It's not about what you get back. It's about, like, if I'm coming out of this situation, I'm so proud if I'm Ciara. I handled myself with dignity and honesty and integrity and kindness, and I led with communication. Like, she shouldn't have withheld those qualities of herself from Kyle or Amanda or anyone else. Like, I think when you act truly from your value system, like, you sadly maybe get moments of clarity that are this harsh, where it's like, get these people out of your life. They are not going to be supportive of your well-being.
For sure.
And I don't know, maybe.
For sure. You and I both operate under the belief, the faith that everything happens for a reason,
What is the choice to be? It's like, yeah.
So then Lindsay pulls Carl aside to go chat in the igloo, a big ass plastic igloo. I loved the decor. Like, in a perfect world where we don't have to worry about plastic and terrible overconsumption and shit in the landfills. Like, this decor was my favorite. This theme was my favorite. I would have loved to have put together an outfit for this party. Would have
It
been
was
so
so
fun.
thorough too, like the ice bricks inside, like that wall they built. It was great.
The
Loved
clumped
it.
Christmas trees. It's just
Yeah.
like the fake logs. I have a fake log upstairs. I have a log from the 1970s that you plug in. And I look at it sometimes and I wonder, like, when people come into my house and they see my fake log, are they like, what the fuck is up with that fake log? Because to me, it doesn't read tacky because it's from the 70s, you know? I don't think we're allowed to burn fires in our fireplaces. Plus, I don't want to burn a fire in my fireplace. Like, I want to mitigate risk as much as I can. All my candles are battery operated. They're very beautiful. My log is very beautiful. It brings me so much joy when I plug it in. But, you know, I appreciated that Ciara and Kyle had their conversation next to a hearth.
Yeah, it was great.
With a simulated log. It was amazing.
It's great.
Oh. So in her confessional, Lindsay says, I buried a lot of things down after the breakup, and the whole Sharon debacle at Soft Bar brought it back to the surface. Did you bury stuff, Lindsay? Did you? Oh, I had no idea. I'm sorry. I appreciate. Okay, Ramona, let's suspend that for right now. Okay, let's suspend it. Let's give Lindsay the same compassion that you're finding for Ben right now. Okay, I'm going to ask myself to do that for the rest of this episode that we're recording. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that choice. All right. I realize maybe I do need closure, and I know that I can't leave it up to Carl because he, like, faints around me. Remember that one time he fainted the night before he was proposing? I'm like, yeah, his body knew. I believe you and I talked about it.
Yes, he was rejecting his body. That's what I'm talking about. That's his version of the head to toe rash. His body was like, don't do this, buddy. You know you don't want to do this, and I'm trying to tell you you're right not to do this. Okay, shoulder pads, proposal, People magazine, never mind.
So, Carl, you can just feel the openness radiating out of him. I sensed no trepidation at all when she approached him and said, let's go chat in the igloo. Like, he was probably like, oh, absolutely. You know, I'm here for this. And he thanks her for stepping in and helping calm the situation between him and Kyle the night before. And Lindsay says that she knew she could reach Carl when he was so spun out and that it brought up a lot of feelings. She shares that encountering his mom at Soft Bar made her really uncomfortable and feel really rattled. And then we see the flashback to Sharon and that unfortunate conversation she had with Lindsay, where Lindsay is saying to Sharon, oh, well, you know, Gemma is slightly mean, just like me. And then Sharon, her answer was so odd, saying, well, you are you. I think that was Sharon being loving and
Lindsay manipulated that.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to say? Sharon came over with good intentions. Say, how are you? How's your beautiful baby? And she goes, she's mean, just like me. What the fuck is Sharon supposed to do? She's at her son's opening of a bar. Like, you don't want to go like, let's really dig into what this is. It's just like Lindsay, she, you know, yeah, it was a really gross setup from Lindsay and a pretty gross punchline from Sharon. But like, I don't know what I would have said on the end. Lindsay is mean. Example A, slightly mean, just like me. Setting up the mother of the woman whose son is opening a non-alcoholic bar because her other son is dead from an overdose. Come on, Lindsay. You have a fresh, new, healthy, gorgeous. Oh my God, that is something that on the city we get to see Gemma and Jesus Christ, she's so cute. So like cute. be in your gratitude and your joy on a day like that, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But it led to this conversation. And I did have a little empathy for Lindsay as this conversation goes on. She tells Carl she felt like Sharon was just glossing over everything that had ever happened. And Carl says his mom probably didn't clock that as such in the moment. And Lindsay says, that's a problem. There is no clocking going on. And she reiterates she hadn't heard from his mom for over a month after the breakup. And she said, I've weathered the storm already. And then 2 months later, your mom is in Mexico dancing on the grave of our relationship. And they flashed this headline that I hadn't been aware of. And the headline read, Carl Radke's mom dances the night away with Sheena Shea in Mexico on his canceled wedding weekend. Now, in fairness to Lindsay, that would have twisted the knife too. I mean, get off of Us Weekly, Lindsay. Like, don't look at those headlines. But also, like, that probably felt bad.
Yeah.
But Sharon didn't write the headline. That's an Us Weekly headline. She didn't call Us Weekly and go like, here's what I want to say. She just went to go support her son whose marriage fell apart.
Yeah.
And yes, she was dancing around with Sheena because what are they going to do? Sit around and like hold a seance for Lindsay's higher self to show up and make this all work out? What the hell?
So for everyone that don't know, they were going to get married in Mexico. And when Carl wrote to everybody that was supposed to come to their wedding, he was like, if you guys still want to go, if you have your rooms and your tickets to fly to Mexico already, please go. Like, and they decided to make lemonade out of lemons, I guess.
Because the wedding was called off only 2 weeks before the date. So like it was too late to cancel. So, you know, people had planned trips and it was non-refundable at that point. So I guess he was like, the party will go on. Enjoy.
And of course, Sheena in the interview had to say like, well, Brock and I never had a honeymoon and Kyle and Amanda said they were going. So we decided to go. Sheena is nothing if not like a backbone. What? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Kyle and Amanda were going. Like, just fucking go, dude. But don't make it all. God.
The second Sheena Shea's name shows up in the headline, I'm certain she sent in this story. So if I'm, whatever.
Yeah.
Lindsay did not need to give this story as much
no
attention as she did. But I also understand like that was her. She was hurting in that moment. She was not that I don't think she was sad they weren't getting married. I think she was embarrassed about the public humiliation. And she said this felt like another public slap in the face. And she's been waiting for Carl to talk with her about what went down when we broke up. And she says, and you never did. And then this was sad. She said that she was shattered by the breakup. And she said, how could my friend of 8 years do that to me? I thought our friendship went beyond the TV show. And he starts to say something, but she keeps talking and he immediately backs off. And he's like really listening, really there to like hear everything she wants to say to him. And Lindsay said she thought Carl would have come to her first before cameras became part of that breakup story. Yeah.
And that just shows, if we want to compare and contrast Carl to any of the men in the house, what he wanted to start to say, his ego was like small. Like he is like, nope, I'm going to let Lindsay say it. What I have to say, who cares? Is it that important? I'm going to let her speak.
Well, and it's also that thing.
Carl.
Me too. And he really embodies, in 12-step rooms, they say like after your 9th step, when you make amends, that you can walk down the street and look anyone in the eye. Like shame leaves you and you experience freedom. And that is what I sensed in Carl in that moment. There was no shame. There was no regret. They also say in 12-step rooms, you will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. So he didn't regret what he did. It was the right choice, but he's not shutting the door on it saying like, well, that's history. We're not going to talk about that. Lindsay wants to talk about that. So he's going to sit there and hear her out. And then he has this like gorgeous, lovely, recovered response that is so genuine. I had never seen Lindsay soften, maybe ever, even around Gemma. She almost seems competitive with her daughter. But when Carl says, he says, when you look at it like that, it's really fucking fucked up. I'm really sorry. And then he gets weepy and says he's commented to Kyle a couple times this summer that being able to laugh with her and think about old times. And he like trails off because he starts crying. And he goes, we have a lot of good memories together. I just didn't handle any of that situation well at all. And it's the last person that I ever should have been like that to. And then he goes on. You've helped me in a lot of ways in my life, and I probably wouldn't be where I am today without the way you were with me, just pushing me and guiding me at a really difficult time in my life. You've made me a better person, and I'm forever grateful for that. I can't believe it took 2 years and you going, what the fuck? And I was like, could you have written it more perfectly? He's like, I hear what you're saying. I agree. I'm sorry I treated you like that. Here's what I think of you, even though how that breakup went down did not exemplify that. And then he ends on a joke. And I just wrote a men's king. Like that is the way to do it, man. Carl is like, he is walking the walk, dude. It is really cool. It makes recovery look really attractive.
Absolutely, it does. I am thrilled for the arc of Carl Radke, and it's so exciting to watch it. And I hope he is equally as excited watching how far he's come from season 1 to season 10.
You can tell he feels good, like
Absolutely.
just embodying who he is now.
Mhm.
Like when they show those flashbacks of him, it is so surreal to be like, oh yeah, that guy, that bloated drunk, like he looks different. He sounds different. His whole attitude is like kind of slick
Arrogant.
and shitty. Yeah.
Posture, totally. It's crazy. Just so arrogant.
He
Just
grew up.
walking ego. Ego in super skin tight white jeans. My God.
Right.
So he tells her, when you crack the whip, it's really good. And I'm just so glad you told me to come over here and talk. And I learned a lot right now. Thank you. And I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, like what more could you ask for? He closes out this conversation with thank you and I'm sorry. It's like, what else could anyone in the world want to hear from someone they love and care about who they feel hurt by? Oh, Carl. And
Yeah.
then Lindsay smiles and like puts her head down, like she demurs in a way I've literally never seen her do. And I was like, this is so sweet. And I have such faith in the appropriate kind of friendship between the two of them moving forward, which I don't think will be very close because they're very different people. Their value systems do not align, but they have a connection that's undeniable and has so much history. And I don't know. I was so happy for both of them.
I was too. I'm eager to see what else we see at the reunion about this conversation. Because if we know Andy like we think we know Andy, at some point he's going to be like, Carl and Lindsay, I have to say, watching that conversation the two of you had in the igloo, I couldn't have been happier. You know what I mean? Like something. I want to hear like the more. I do think that Lindsay is very attached to the meme of it all, of like judging Carl, and Carl's a mess because on her various appearances, ever since the scandal broke, like, well, do you think that you and Carl will ever be friends again? And, she still kind of plays into the whole keeping him at arm's length kind of a thing. And I don't think that needs to happen, but it's okay. It's not my business.
But he's such a great example of live and let live. Like he's not trying
Totally.
to convince her to do it different. He lets Lindsay kind of lightly talk shit about him. He knows she doesn't mean it, but that's her little coping mechanism. And he's not going to try and change her or defend himself. He's just like, all right, man. All right.
That's why he's like the one Bravo celebrity that if I ever happened to cross paths with, I would be like, can I please take a picture? Do you have a minute? May I share what my experience has been watching you?
And he would. I listen to his podcast now because I find it fascinating. It's like listening to a 12-step meeting because he has all these people in recovery and their various stories, and he tells more details of his own. And it sounds like it really is meaningful to him, and I can understand why. He exposed a lot on this show that was real gross.
So
to
much.
hear that it was worth it, it's, again, no matter how far down the scale you've gone, you'll see how your experience can benefit others. Like
Absolutely.
that must be so bolstering to know that, like, while there's 4 seasons of you being a complete tool, and then a season and a half of you being in deep addiction and grief, and then this huge, like, unbelievable, like, unexpected full recovery arc, watching him uncomfortable in the first summer he's not drinking, trying to talk with girls and like not knowing who he is yet. And he let us watch it all. And
All of
now
it.
sitting in this igloo, I'm like, there he is.
He's in the 4th dimension they talk about in the big book
Yeah,
of Alcoholics Anonymous. He really is.
He is.
He is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. So poor Kyle tries to get Amanda to introduce her to somebody, and she's like, no, oh, honey, I'll be, in like 5 minutes. Just the complete and utter. I talk kinder to strangers in the street.
She cut him off. He's like, can I introduce you to no? And then walked right past. I was like, even I was like, huh? That's just straight up rude. But I guess if someone had said fuck you to my face the night before, I might also, and hadn't said anything that morning. That's the problem, is Amanda fucked herself by fucking West. Because I might have felt very differently about her reaction here. But I don't, so there.
No, I'm glad. So in her confessional, she says she wants to avoid Kyle because she doesn't want to argue anymore, have the same conversation that reached no resolved again. Will I get an apology? Maybe. Will he do it again? Yeah. The only thing that's changed is just like my reaction. Bitch.
To fuck his friend.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, to fuck
that's a change of
your
reaction.
supposed best friend's ex. Moving on. Sabrina and Ciara. So Sabrina reports to Ciara that Ben told her he loves her just 2 hours ago. We see the little flashback of it.
Because Ben has been withholding. You know, Sabrina has said she's loved him and he hasn't reciprocated, but he finally did at the après-ski party.
Which again, I'm like, were there heart-opening enhancements that have been ingested at some point in the day? You know, I don't know. But regardless, I believe him. And from the looks of their social media, they are still very much in love. So Sabrina gushes to Ciara that you've been the biggest blessing of my life. From the minute I met you, I felt so instantly safe. Yeah, same. Season 5, Luke brought her on, and I was like, who is this? Who is this gem? And every season, America, everyone who's watched the show has fallen more and more in love with her.
I loved Ciara in that first season because if memory serves, that's when Luke was texting her like late at night and she set a boundary and he had a poor reaction and she held it. And I was like, ooh, that's so hard to do. And like, this girl has really got something going on. It's great.
Also the same season where she watched him treat Hannah like shit and yell at Hannah. And she's like, if I know that this is this is how you can treat people, fuck that. She's always had these values. She's always been this genuine person. And I'm very, very happy and grateful that we've gotten to watch her for 5 seasons. So Ciara returns the compliment, saying, Sabrina has taught me to wear my heart on my sleeve and be so unapologetic in my feelings. And the camera keeps cutting to West as Ciara is opening her heart and sharing these things. And she says, you can like someone and have a crush, and if it doesn't work out, like, it's fine. But it's 10 times more rewarding to have loved and lost. 100%. I agree. They love each other. Sabrina's been like this little gift to come into several people's lives in the house. You know, she's had an effect.
Yeah. Ugh. And then our villain
fucking
edit. We cut to West and Ben, and West says, can I tell you something? If Ciara and me are together and Sabrina's there, tell her to not try to make us date each other. We are like so many steps away from that point that I just want you to like, and Ben goes, yeah, just chill for a second. Yeah. And West goes, if I'm being so honest, which is his fucking annoying ass bullshit refrain. You can't be honest, apparently. He goes, if I'm being so honest, I think we both know that we like always have liked each other. But I know what happened when I tried dating her casually and I really fucked her shit up. Our baseline is like being really close and flirty. It's hard to ignore the sexual tension. And then he says, last night we were really drunk and all I wanted to do was, and Ben jumps in and says, jumper bones. And he concurs and he says, but that being said, I'm not trying to portray that I'm a boyfriend. Oh, really? Your statement on March 31st would indicate otherwise, but okay. He goes, that's not what I'm doing. And the biggest problem, I couldn't say that 2 years ago, and I should have. I made 1,000 excuses as to why I didn't want to be with her instead of just being like, I'm not there. The last thing I want is her being like heartbroken, you know? And it's really interesting how West finds all these words for everyone but Ciara. You fucking coward.
He should be telling her now.
Disgusting.
He should be telling her now.
But that's where I wonder if he does have some sort of sex and love addiction, because it's like he knows right from wrong, but he's choosing not to talk to Ciara in this way so that that door can stay open.
Absolutely.
He's asking Ben to keep to be a guardian. And then
Yeah.
literally mere hours later, he's making out with her, trying to pull her into his bed. Like, what are you doing, dude? You are a
Enable my behavior,
mess.
Ben. Yep.
It's gross.
It's creepy. It's creepy and gross. And that is why I'm so mad at him, is because he totally knew. He knows better.
They
knows
both did.
110% better.
They fully consciously walked into this disgusting choice.
Yep.
Blech.
So Amanda and Carl have a scene. She makes a request that they bring back the tradition of all jumping in the pool together at the end of the party. And then Lindsay and Kyle are chatting, and Kyle tells Lindsay, I'm really glad that Carl and I were able to use the igloo you guys built to talk. She shares that the conversation was good. And Amanda passes by at that moment, and Kyle tries to stop her, and she doesn't even look at him. She just walks right by. And Lindsay tells Kyle, you can try to talk to her, but if she doesn't want to, don't force it. It's just so awful. I know, I can remember in my mind's eye when I treated my boyfriend at the time like that, as I just had contempt and no respect for him. And it was so awful. I look back at that and it makes me wince. It's far in my rearview mirror. And this person and I don't harbor any I do harbor ill will about one thing with this person. I do. Interesting. But that has to do with one of his family members, not about our relationship. Well, I guess it's all one and the same. But my point is that, like, when we were over, and I think I couldn't make it more clear, like my behavior took over and I started treating him the same way. That's how I know what she's doing. That's how I know she's checked out. Because I've done what she's done.
And a lot of people do. I'm sure I've done it too. And it just means the relationship's over. That's all it means. Like, it doesn't. And I think, I don't know if there's I don't know. I've never had a relationship end without like something, like without fighting, or you don't just go along peacefully.
Fighting is one thing, but just like the contempt and the lack of respect is like, she's playing dirty.
She's done, and she should have left years ago. He should have left years ago. And so it's gotten to this point. Had they been in couples therapy years ago, they could have potentially avoided a summer like this, but they weren't. And so this is what it is. And it's so deliberate. That's the thing. It's not Amanda breezing by like, never mind. It's her deliberately icing him out, knowing that it hurts him because she knows him so well and she knows what he's doing, which is his annoying ass puppy dog, hey, Amanda.
Oh, it's so
hang
bad.
dog bullshit after the last thing he said to her face was fuck you. So it's like, it's not, again, team no one, so toxic. Thank God it's over. But like, ugh.
Yeah, totally. So in his confessional, Kyle says, I just ruined the last weekend of the summer, and I'm kind of scared what she's going to say. I feel like I just gave her everything she needed to walk out the door. Kyle, I mean, you did, and also you didn't. You did, yes, and there's also something that was going on that she didn't tell you about. Mm-hmm. So, geez, my God, how do you even unpack that? So the party ends, and Ciara, Mia, and Amanda are eating wings together on some lounges. And Amanda thanks them for speaking up on her behalf.
This scene was like so painful to watch.
It was so insulting.
And now it all just feels like Amanda's manipulating shit, repeating shit for the camera to make sure it gets in the edit. Like
100%.
And maybe that's true and maybe it's not. But she, again, when you lie, at least with me, you put me into a conspiracy theorist's head where I'm just like, now I don't trust anything you do at face value because you've proven yourself to be a very successful liar. I had no idea, what you're capable of. So like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know if she gathered them, got the cameras there so that she could plead her case again, because she does repeat that she fears she won't be enough for someone else. And Ciara says, we need to start working on your confidence. And Amanda goes, it's not your guys' job. And Ciara says, Amanda, we are your friends.
Just manipulating these two beautiful souls.
Yeah, sitting back as both of them surround her. And Amanda said she's tired of them always having to console her. And Ciara, I love her. She goes, Amanda, respectfully, shut up. And she means it from a place of like, you know, what Mia says, we don't mind doing this at all. We're happy to do it. And Ciara says, someone has to because, bitch, you're off your fucking rocker. I have to be honest with you. I'm getting tired of this shit. Same, Ciara. And I love, but again, this is where Ciara is such a good friend. She listens, but she doesn't let you get to the point of wallowing in self-pity. Because here she says, if you want me to stop handling you with kid gloves, I fucking will. If this was Mia, I would have gone to her house. We would have been packed her shit. We would have been gone. If you want to fucking go, tell me when, and I'll schedule every fucking thing for you. Like she's letting Amanda know she's done with the whiny baby bullshit. It's obvious this relationship is ending. And then she's offering her total support and availability to help Amanda take this very challenging next step of leaving.
She doesn't have these conversations with her friend Katie that she's known since she was 8 from 3rd grade. She does it with Ciara, though.
While she's sleeping with her ex. Like,
bitch.
it's just it's so icky. It would be icky without the West part, but it's just like
unforgivable.
Yeah, it's really
violent. It's emotional violence, and I fucking won't take it.
It's sick. It seems like sickness. It's just like
it's racism. It is sickness.
I agree.
Disgusting.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking diabolical. I don't care if however many, months down the line she does a redemption thing where she goes to rehab or comes out with some shit. I'm not saying I'm not going to waste as much time as I'm not going to waste like I'll never forgive her, but like you're beyond. Like I don't ever see me understanding where you've crossed boundaries that are so ugly to cross that nothing you say in the future will make me go, oh, I can see that a little bit. My heart opens a little bit. Like it's closed and I don't care. She doesn't deserve it. She doesn't deserve it.
I mean, let's not forget that just like 5 episodes ago, they were all sitting around a dinner table with Ciara talking about the racist shit she had to field for her involvement with West. Amanda hugging her, saying, I understand you. I love you. I'm here for
Lying
you.
Bitch.
Or she's one of those I meant it at the time people. And when it gets hard to stand by that, then you just don't. You just do what you want because it's easier and more convenient. And
fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Carl Radke arc is available to everyone, but as we've seen with him, it's like a nice 6-year, fully daily committed to bettering yourself, making amends to everyone you've harmed. And I don't see that for Amanda. It's available to her, so that's on her. But I don't know how you come back from this level of using people. It's so it's really, it was honestly sickening to watch. Like it made my stomach turn. I was just like, this is really gross.
Like I'm mad right now. Like my somatic response to this conversation that we're having about this scene, like my throat is tight. Like my therapist will sometimes ask me when we're in our appointments, like, and I'm talking about something. She's like, Ramona, where is it in your body? Where is it in your body? Describe what's happening. My throat's tight. My jaw is clenched. My temperature went up a couple degrees. I could cry. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at what I'm watching. I'm so mad at this woman's violent disrespect of her friend, in quotations, after all of her friend has shared with her and on all of us. It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable.
Yeah.
I feel like that now.
And Amanda says to Ciara, well, that's what I need to hear. I don't need to be handled like a baby. And Ciara goes, I love Ciara. She goes, yeah, but also at the same time, bitch, we're not going to sit here and cry about it and not do anything about it. You are in charge of your life. You have to stop letting life happen to you. You need to let this motherfucker know that you are serious. If you say fuck you to me, I'm leaving and we can work on our relationship living independently. And again, I just think she is so centered and clear and so good with delivering advice in an emotional situation. Like What a great friend. God, Amanda, you really sacrificed like something really once in a lifetime here. What a loss.
Yeah.
What a loss.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Because Ciara meant it. Like you could feel in her
100.
energy that she's like, all right, we're done with the weepy boohoo part. Like, let's talk about how to get your confidence built, how to get you moving into your own light and like your own life. And I'm here to move your shit out. I'm here to script whatever you need to say to this guy. Like, let's get you on to the next page here. That's invaluable, I think.
Ay, ay, ay. So Ben and Sabrina are making an attempt to comfort Kyle, and he says to them, "Yeah, I'm not good. This is the grave I dug." And Sabrina encourages Kyle to talk to Amanda. This is where, like, I'm like inner corner, and then when she says stuff like, "Sometimes women like to be fought for," like this is not.
She's new to this situation. She hasn't
really,
watched 10 years of toxic hatred.
It didn't fit. That was trying to stick a round peg in a square hole or whatever that saying is. It just was not. No, Sabrina, with all due. So Kyle takes Sabrina's advice and approaches Amanda, Ciara, and Mia in the Buffalo Wings, just as Ciara is saying to Amanda, "I think living alone for you could be great."
And then there's like silence crickets. Kyle in his like bathing suit and fur coat and like slumped shoulders. And he goes, I just wanted to say hi.
That pathetic voice.
Yes.
Oh, God. And Amanda just says to me and Ciara, "Let's go jump in the pool." And Kyle just walks away dejected. He's super fucking hangdog, dude. What the fuck? Oi, oi, oi. Yeah. Ooh, the hangdog. And the hangdog just makes you want to like reject them more. Okay, I'll talk about me. The hangdog made me want to reject him more. It just, it was not good. It wasn't good.
And he doesn't read the room. He follows her.
Because he's drunk.
Right. In his little shuffly, slumped body and goes, "Can we?" And he approaches her again and is about to talk. And Amanda goes, "We can talk tomorrow." And Kyle goes, "What the dilly, yo?" I was like, Kyle, if you're trying to be taken seriously, like, don't what the dilly, yo, your wife right now. But then Amanda goes, "Well, you apologize for something completely irrelevant." And I'm like, actually, he didn't. He did say sorry for saying fuck you. He said sorry for everything, but he did say it in an insincere way. So, like, I don't know. Again, just divorce, you guys. Like, it's these little arguments were past the point of these having any meaning. It's like, whatever. Also, you're fucking West. So, also that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And Kyle closes it out with another hangdog. What? As she walks away. So I went back and forth. When he said, "What the dealio?" I was like, Kyle. And then when Amanda said, "You didn't apologize for the right thing," I was like, Amanda. And then he goes, "What?" And I was like, Kyle. And then we get into his confessional. Until this confessional, when I actually like really felt him, and through the rest of the episode, I really feel him grieving the loss of the dream of this marriage. The marriage was never destined to succeed, I don't think. But he clearly had hoped for some miracle this summer. It sounds like he'd put all of his faith in this summer. And he tears up and he's wiping tears from his eyes. And he says it's been 10 years with Amanda. And he through tears, which makes me believe he understands what a mess he contributed here. He says, "I feel like the severity of my actions have just compounded and thrown a wrench in things and could potentially lead us not come back as a couple." And he's crying. So I think he already knows that's true, you know? It's sad.
It is. It is. It was sad.
Even when it's the right thing, it's still sad.
Totally. Because at least he's being honest.
Yeah.
You know, at least he's being honest. He's working with the same information we all thought we were working with. But two people were working with other information as well. Gross.
And then
Fucking
there's
gross.
this like, this is where my heart started to like break. They show everyone jumping in the pool, stripping down to however naked they want to get and jumping in the pool. And then we're back in Kyle's confessional where he says, "A lot of memories. It's just been weighing down on me because I don't want what we have here to all of a sudden disappear." And through that confessional, there's all these shots of everyone in the pool and it's so joyful and happy. And Of course it is, because this is before Amanda and Kyle have officially separated, before, God knows, long before this news of West and Amanda being disgusting has broken. So we're in the last moments of innocence.
Hours. Yeah.
And then it's about to shatter. He was on to something bigger than he even knew. And then we do get a little comedic relief. Yes. So KJ is stripped down to his white boxer briefs, and as he gets out of the pool, literally everyone, like, it almost sounded like someone hit a timpani drum like in a cartoon, and everyone went like, whoa, KJ, put that away. Because I guess his panties were see-through after his jump in the pool, and everybody saw his goods, and he got a good laugh out of it, and everyone was a good sport. It wasn't gross. It was funny, and that was nice. And then everyone goes out at 12:18 a.m. I almost passed away. I was like, oh.
I would not have been able to do that, but the usual suspects go out. Bailey and Levi stayed home. Amanda, of course, stayed home. Ben and Sabrina, did they stay home or did they go out?
I think Amanda went out for a bit.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
And
she
then
came home with that early group, with the 2 a.m. group. So they were only out for like an hour and a half.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 2:06 a.m., everyone but Jesse and Kyle come home. And at 4:58 a.m., outside at the fire pit, and I hate myself for going, well, Luke isn't there. Who built the fire? I don't know. Maybe Wes can build a fucking fire. I don't know. But Sabrina and Ben are snuggling on one of the couches, and Wes and Ciara are on another couch, and they start kissing a lot. And I did not like West's like lack of, like, his mouth was in it, but his hand was just like limp. And I was like, dude, you fucking suck, man.
It's so sad because, like, it would have been so cute and sweet. I would have been like, if we didn't know all this shit, because he'd eventually moved his hand and put it on her face. And you can see how they fit together. You can see their sweetness and their chemistry and their history in that kiss. It's all there. But knowing what we know, it's just like, ugh.
It's so
Get
bad.
off her, you creep. But they both, in that moment at least, seem, I'm happy for Ciara that she felt happy in that moment. She seemed really, really like, later she's like lounging up against him, and like she just seems contented, and
Relaxed.
she deserves to feel that way,
Totally.
It's unfortunate how it all blows up, but like I'm glad that last night was as sweet as it was for everyone. That's a nice way to like leave that house and maybe never come back.
Except for Kyle and Amanda, but yeah, totally.
Right, touche. But even they left kind of sweetly, ultimately, again, if we didn't know that she was a creep.
Yeah, I don't know. Her checked outness was very, yeah. So at 5:27 a.m., Jesse and Kyle.
5:27 a.m.
5:27. Where the hell were they? Like, when do the clubs close in the Hamptons? Like,
I don't
who's
fucking
out
know.
that
I
late
don't
there?
want to fucking know. 5:27. That's sunrise, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was wild.
But they're so stoked to see that Ben and Sabrina and Ciara and West are still awake and outside. They can't believe it. And Jesse goes outside, and we see Ciara and West snuggling under a blanket by the fire pit. And Kyle is in the kitchen. I forget what he found, chips or something. And he was so excited to report that to Amanda. And she just goes, wow. And he keeps trying to engage her in conversation. And she, again, won't look at him, walks away. But, again, it's like team nobody. It's 5:27 a.m. and he just got home and he's drunk and annoying. I too would probably be like, let's not talk right now. I don't care about your chips. I'm going back to bed. Fuck you. Like, whatever.
Dude.
And then he does another hang dog after she leaves and goes, hello. It's like, Kyle, we're not going to feel bad for you at 6 a.m. Come on,
tacky.
man.
It was so awful. So like, ugh. Oh, God. And then West and Jesse's room. This was just like, dude, just.
We get like night vision of Ciara and West hugging and nuzzling and then more kissing. And Jesse is like, what? And this is where West keeps Ciara in a very tight embrace and starts moving her toward his bed. And Ciara goes, are you inching me toward your bed? And West goes, I would never do that. Which again, would have been cute on, anytime in early March. I would have found this so sweet and I would have loved it. But We know too much. And they kiss and hug more before she leaves his room. And Jesse has a confessional where he just looks sort of like drawn at the camera. And he's like, honestly, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, great.
And Jesse giggles to West. Imagine being Kyle and coming back to your wife at fucking 6 a.m. And West is all, oh, she wants you dead. Yikes. And then Monday morning, symbolic of how the whole thing's going to wrap up. The remaining bit of the ice sculpture, the ice luge, crashes to the floor in the kitchen. And I love the editors for putting it in. I love it. I love it. It's amazing. Everyone starts waking up. Bailey and Levi, they talk about the fact that they had snuggled in the night and they had their heads on each other's shoulders.
So cute.
And while they were sleeping. And I just was like, oh, that just reminds me of little kitties, you know, little puppies or kitties. Just like they're so cute. They love each other so much.
It's very sweet. And I just love them for sharing a bed all summer. They had the bed for their shit and the bed for each other. And the last night they wound up with their heads on each other's shoulders. It's so cute.
So cute.
And then in stark contrast, we cut to Amanda and Kyle's room. And Kyle rolls over to try and snuggle Amanda. And she goes, nope. And then it starts again. Oh, my God. At this point, I'm like, I can't take it anymore. Even, like, I can't. Kyle says, I tried to talk to you. And she goes, you didn't acknowledge anything. And he goes, I thought we'd have a chance to talk about the bigger picture. And then, you know, it's just their same. Nobody's listening. Everyone's trying to be right. It just needs to be done.
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
It needs to be done. So then West and Jesse are snuggling and are they both in green panties?
They are.
What's happening? They're both in green boxers, right? And they're snuggling and they're ranking their summers and they both agree that this one was their favorite.
Yikes.
And then, go ahead, Margie.
Oh, and Jesse goes, I was shockiotoed when you guys were canoodling in the corner. I was like, shockiotoed and canoodling? Jesse Solomon, you are on brand. You crooner, high-waisted, panted weirdo.
Chicago.
I was shockiotoed. And then Jesse, as any good friend would, asks if West and Ciara had a conversation. And he is further shockiotoed when West says no. And Jesse's like, well, do you intend to hang out with her this fall? And West goes like, I don't know. And Jesse's like, okay, but you know, like you don't touch that unless you're all the way in, 110% in. And West is like, yeah. But clearly already West is taking this so lightly. And Jesse learned from his mistake earlier in the summer. He actually has, on a cellular level, digested how serious Ciara is about her boundaries, her body, her relationship concerns. And West knows all of these things too and chooses not to respect them at all in ways that are so flagrant we can't even imagine. You know, down the line, it gets worse. I thought this was as bad as it could be, but like
racist piece of shit. Just looks a little bit different than Amanda's, but it's the same bullshit.
And I think what is so heartbreaking is that Ciara will field a lot of hate for that, you know, like, and that is what
she already is. Oh, she already is. There is so much there. Okay. So like when I say, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. There's several Bravo related subreddits on Reddit, and the Bravo subreddit is a fucking cesspool of racist pieces of shit who are the kind of people that would DM diabolical shit to Ciara.
Yeah, and she's already been through this once at West's hands. She's explained clearly how that situation came to be and how it impacted her, and he has simply set her up to have another and is so careless. Jesse's shocked and worried, and West is just like, whatever. And it's like, dude, she literally was in tears explaining to you like how much she was affected in ways that you can't even understand, you know? And he's just like, well, I guess she'll go through another round of that.
What a piece of shit. Oh my God. So then, oh, wow. Poor Mia. So Ciara and Mia are waking up, and Ciara tells Mia, Wes and I kissed last night. And Mia reminds Ciara that I was there and saw you through the first time you guys broke up. And it was awful. And reminds Ciara, you were a shell of yourself. You were a shell of yourself, my dear. And Ciara admits she knows that there needs to be a conversation. But right now, she's smitten. And it's like, we have all been that person where you are smitten because the night before you made out with the guy that you know deep down, or maybe not even deep down, like, I should not be doing this. This is only going to lead to heartbreak for me. I know this. I know this. Not even that deep do I know this. But you can't do it because we're human at the end of the day. And, oh, God.
And Mia, in her confessional, says of West, she goes, I knew I was going to get along with him, and I hate that for me. And she says she tried to hate West, but she can see what Ciara likes about him. He's a really good guy. He's cool. He's funny. He's charming. I just hate what he did to my friend. And unfortunately, that is no longer a past tense statement. I hate what he did to my friend and has done again to my friend and continues to do to my friend.
Yeah.
But then we get this like really sweet, it's just so tainted. It could have been so fun to watch. Ciara calls out the window to West, who's taking his morning dive in the pool. And she's so giddy, asking like, did you talk to Jesse this morning? Like basically asking, did you tell your best friend? Like I just told my best friend. And he sort of gives like a, casual, like, yeah. And Ciara's giggling and Mia goes, not you smitten already. And Ciara's like, I'm going to take a shower. Like it would have been so cute and fun had it like been anything other than he's also sleeping with Amanda.
It just hurt so bad because she like tells Mia like, oh, he's got his ski hat on. Like everything he's doing right now, like she
is cute
is so
to her.
Charming and adorable to her because
and it
she
is. It would have been if
yeah.
he wasn't sleeping with Amanda.
Oh my God.
And also if he hadn't kissed another girl on his lap 2 weeks before. Like there's, he's not doing great. He's not doing great.
He is not. So, okay. So then they all sit down to breakfast. Breakfast has arrived. And of course, Carl ordered it. Love Carl. Putting those
Daddy.
Uber Eats gift cards to good use with some bacon, eggs, and cheese. Lindsay gives a quick speech over the last meal, the last supper of the house.
Isn't that so crazy? Like maybe it's having been raised in a church, but like the Last Supper, that's like when Judas betrays. And I was like,
right.
And they so casually were like, it's the Last Supper. And I was like, oh, it is the Last Supper. Like everything changes.
Mara, you just gave me goosebumps. You're right.
They gave me goosebumps. I was like, you guys don't even know what you're saying.
Oh, shit. There's two Judas there. Judai.
Judai. Return
totally.
of the Judai.
Return of the Judai. Oh, my God. Oh, I needed that giggle. I needed it. I needed that giggle. So she shares that she loved meeting new people and hanging with old friends. And she shouts out all the couples that came to be over the summer, including KJ and Dara, Ben and Sabrina, Ciara and West. And when she says their name, everybody cheers. And probably like Wes is probably going like, fuck in his head. Amanda, who knows what the fuck she's thinking. And like, just all of us are like, just getting this knife stabbed in a little bit deeper.
But it also like, it's just, again, more information about how shitty West and Amanda are. So like, part of me wondered if their kiss was kind of like a cute secret because remember when Jesse saw them kissing, he goes, I didn't see anything. I was like, maybe they're going to keep it a secret, but no, everyone knew about it. Everyone celebrated it. Like everyone was hopeful for them to.
Everyone.
It just is it's so dark what happened. Like, I think I'm still trying to I can't imagine what it's like to be these people trying to make sense of it because I am a complete stranger, outsider, adult who's like, what happened?
I mean, thousands and thousands of people on the internet are
crazy.
Are trying to process it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are at least 17, maybe 18 now. I don't know, maybe 19 called mega threads in the Summer House Bravo subreddit. And the mega threads are there for people to come in at any time and be like, what the fuck? Or, hey, let's overanalyze this thing. Or what do you guys think about whatever? 17 or 18 over one thing that happened. March 31st. It is May. It is almost 2 months later. And we are all still enwrapped and like trying to figure it out. And we are complete. We're not in this. We watch this. We're not in this. It's fucking insane. People that don't watch Bravo are watching this because it is pulling at parts of our humanity that can relate to this and that are devastated by similar things like this happening in their own lives, you know? It's fucking crazy. Bravo rips. Anyway. Oh, and everyone cheers when she also happily reports that she and Carl had a chat. So people are very excited for everybody. Right.
It feels like a really healing moment.
It does.
You know? And Carl suggests a group hug, and Lindsay, of course, has to get a little dig. The hug. He loves the hug.
God.
But they all do it, and then they all chant 1, 2, 3, family. And like, it just is so sad because it really could have been. This show was really special because it did really feel like a family. And meaning that of course, they fought, but they fought like family does. They fought, but they loved each other so much. It was always worth coming around to resolve it, but you can't come around and resolve what's happened now. So like this really is the final moments of Summer House as we knew it. You know, I can't imagine how it proceeds in any way that feels at all like this if they keep any of this cast, but whatever. Everyone starts packing, and Bailey has a little confessional where she tells us that she's leaving this summer with her faith restored in men because of getting to know Carl. And she says, and it means the entire world to me. Being around someone who's just good is invaluable in my healing process. And like, what a tribute to Carl.
Totally.
Like, what more could you want to hear?
Right.
So that was very sweet.
Oh, so we've got lots of tearful hugs goodbyes amongst all the OGs. West hugs Lindsay, and then West and Amanda have a very different kind of hug.
Yep, that grab in the head and the whole thing. Yep. And then in the midst of West and Amanda's hugs, Ciara enters, and West and Amanda, did you see this? They like looked uncomfortable, and Amanda like they both had like wide eyes and looked at each other. And again, I'm now a conspiracy theorist. Maybe that was nothing, but now it seems like something because you guys are both liars and everything feels like you're hiding.
Are you an April 2025 truther?
I don't even want to get that deep because I'll never know. Neither one of them will ever tell the truth. And unless someone can subpoena their text records, like I don't want to torture myself.
I know.
Why try to figure out a liar? It's exhausting and there is no end. It's just I hate them. And then this was weird. Totally. Like Amanda tries to make a joke of just shaking Ciara's hand and saying, nice working with you. But Ciara goes in for a hug and is sobbing and says, I love you. And Amanda says right back, I love you so much. And they cry. And then Ciara takes Amanda's face in her hands to make sure she's looking her in the eyes and says, I'm proud of you. And you're so special and you're so beautiful and you're important and your voice matters.
She's none of those things. Maybe to Frank and Mrs. Batula. I don't remember her mom's name right now. It escapes me, but I'm just saying that she's none of those things.
Her response said what she said, I have very good friends. You remind me of that every day. And again, for me, it just made me feel sick because I'm like, again, you're so conscious of how good this person is that you're about to absolutely take a hot shit on. Like, it's just so, it's not unconscious. You didn't get drunk one night and make a mistake. You did a super conscious, gross thing to a really, really good person who doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. So,
nope.
Yeah, Lindsay, Amanda is a real
racist.
Yeah, but I mean, just an unexpected villain in this series. I'm talking over the course of 10 years. She was just kind of like Kyle's, punching bag. And then and then out of nowhere, she became this. And it's just like, it's really shocking.
I mean, watching back, she has always been this person. But
Of course.
it was just
But
eclipsed
again,
by,
had this never happened
right.
at again, the last, the episode I recorded before I took April off, it was everyone, you, me, the whole world was like, Amanda has suffered enough under this guy is so abusive. He is absent and neglectful and cheating and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, looking back, of course we can see it now, but that's like, it's just like, it was, if this was a written piece, I would be legitimately shocked at who the villain turned out to be. And
It would Gone Girl you? Yeah,
yes, I could go back and trace it, but
It did,
only
dude.
after the fact,
100%. Absolutely.
I would never have picked Amanda because she's kind of a dud. So I would never think this would be her arc, but here we are.
A dud in fuck ass sandals. My fucking God. Oh my God. Oh, some of her sandals, some of her shoes. She deserves those ugly ass shoes. Okay, moving on. So Lindsay hugs a weeping Kyle goodbye, and Ciara and West hug and rock back and forth, and they both say, I love you.
It's so sweet. It looks like a couple, again, it's just like, oh, it just makes everything all the more shocking. Ciara was all the way in, and West is acting that way as well. So that's hard.
Just a little side note is that I don't know if anyone is aware or gives a shit, but Paige started a loungewear line called Daphne after her cat Daphne. And Ciara in that cute navy blue outfit, that two-piece outfit she drove home from the Hamptons in, was Daphne. It was a Daphne outfit. Had a D in the back. The little tie on the side is always what I thought was so cute about the stuff that Paige made that season. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Very cute. Mm-hmm. And then Wes goes to hug Mia, and Mia says, I love you. And I believe her. I think she did grow to love him over the summer.
We all did.
And I think she also loves him because she sees Ciara in love with him. Like, that's how I am with my friends too.
Totally.
Because it's exciting to see someone you love and love. So you want to love the person that they love. Anyway, she says, I love you. Take care of my girl. I'll kill you if you don't. I will. And Wes goes, no, I know. And it's like, dude, well, I don't know. And then Jesse and Ciara hug. And this is the hug I was talking about earlier that just felt like, they're back to being friends in an even more meaningful way because they went through a rough patch and they worked it out. And Jesse made a conscious effort to be a better guy. And Ciara noticed that effort. And so here they are saying, I love you so much. And it doesn't feel gross. It feels, healed and like sweet, supportive friends. And then Lindsay and Carl are our last goodbye and they fist bump. And I found it very sweet. It's like weird and disconnected as it was. It felt like, that's as intimate as Lindsay can get. And I thought she went all the way. And then everyone drives off, but Kyle and Amanda, of course, hang back.
God. So Kyle and Amanda talk on the front steps. Kyle says, I feel sick to my stomach. He tells Amanda that Ciara told him that they'd spoken about Amanda possibly wanting to separate, and it was haunting him, and it got the best of me the other night. That's what he tells her. And Amanda looks her husband in the eye, and with no emotion says, I had no intention of opening that conversation. You fucking lying bitch.
Again, I don't know.
Utter fucking lie.
I have no idea. Maybe she's telling the truth, but now everything is going to read like a lie because now she's a known liar. So whatever.
She claims that she thought they were in a good place and moving in the right direction. I'm sorry, what? We saw that conversation that she had with Ciara.
We saw the whole summer.
The day after they went to therapy and the whole summer.
He gave her a watch and she said, now I can divorce him and leave with this watch. We've seen them fight every weekend. We saw her not come one weekend because she couldn't take, what do you mean you were in a good place and moving in the right direction? Like that, again, it's like you are a liar, even about and it's so weird to try and gaslight a camera crew. It's like, this is all on film. What are you talking about? You spent all summer crying to your girlfriends to the point where you had to apologize for crying all summer to your girlfriends and asking for their support. that's moving in the right direction. She is just trying to spin a story here that she's come up with and thinks that we'll all be like, yeah, no wonder she had to sleep with West. No wonder.
I don't even know if they ever intended us to find out, but I think that was going
surely
to.
not.
That was
No.
going to. This was. She was probably so happy. I mean, obviously, her fucking demented look on her face after he said "fuck you" when they're having the big fight at the dinner table the night before, 2 nights ago. Like, how convenient. Like, she couldn't have written that. Like, she couldn't have, like, "Dear diary, I really wish that this bad thing could happen so everyone could hate Kyle and see me as the long-suffering wife and I could have a, fucking edit of all edits." Like, she blames her sudden, immediate need to separate on Kyle, saying, "fuck you," and almost fighting Carl this weekend. She is so glad that happened. She's so glad that happened.
And Kyle knew it. I mean, he said it in that previous confessional. I gave her everything she needs to walk out the door.
Yep.
And like the relationship should be over, but like he's reading that right. When he said "fuck you," what her face said was "thank you." Nailed it. Case closed. Yeah. Got it.
Yep.
It's the Robert Durst killed him all moment.
Yep.
Like,
totally.
Totally. She got him.
Oh, God. So Kyle says, "I feel like I've let everyone down. You, me. I had such high hopes for the summer." Oh, dude. Dude.
I think really did.
He did.
He was delusional, but like, I don't know. I'm glad he tried because he knows that his version of trying lands him saying "fuck you" to his wife, almost beating up his best friend, and landing in a separation anyway. It just wasn't meant to be. So, yeah.
Oh, she's a devil. Amanda says, "Well, we've had a good run in the Hamptons. The best memories and the worst memories live here. I've grown up in the summer house and learned so much about myself, and I need to not just be a support system for you, Kyle, but to start to put myself first." And I'm like, bitch, you have been putting yourself first for so long. Putting yourself first since April 2020, 2025.
I mean, but that's the thing is like, again, had this scandal not come out, that's true. Like, we all rooted for her when her dumb bathing suit line came out because she had always, we used to say like Amanda designed the Loverboy logo and blah, blah, blah. No, but she never gets credit. Like, we all used to ride for her like that, because she didn't put herself first. She didn't put herself in the spotlight. But this was not the way to accomplish that. It's just such a shame, And Kyle again here admits he's scared. And Amanda says, "Me too, but something has to be different." It didn't have to be fucking your best friend's ex, but that's something different. That's a choice. And Kyle says that he feels everything he's put his heart and soul into is now crumbling. And I think he means his marriage. And I think he has big fears about Loverboy. And
for sure.
But I also think he's put his heart and soul into DJing and staying out late. And I don't think those things are crumbling. Those things are going great. So, and then Amanda, this shocked me. She said she's going to stay in a hotel for a couple nights and they'll see each other in couples therapy on Wednesday. And Kyle he doesn't fight her on it, to his credit. He's just like resigned and distraught. He's like really crying. And like I feel his sick to my stomachness. Like, I've been in that breakup moment where it's over and it's so sad. It physically hurts from like chest to stomach. It just feels like death. And Amanda's just kind of like, yep.
Yeah, I think we need to make fundamental changes in our relationship, and that starts with me staying in a hotel. She literally said that. She used the words fundamentally change the relationship. We need to fundamentally change it, and that starts with me staying in a hotel.
I mean, look, again, without the West factor, I get it. He said "fuck you" to her face. It was the third time he'd done it on camera this summer. He didn't properly address it the morning after. He did just go about his day and have a party. It is, I get it. Like, again, if someone did that to me, I might do the same thing of like, I don't want to just like go play house with you. Like, let me have a couple days to myself, and then we'll reconvene in therapy and ask the therapist what the best next step is. If she wasn't having a disgusting affair, that would be a great choice, honestly. But because she's not saying, I'm going to get a hotel room so that I can fuck Ciara's ex/your good friend for 2 days without anybody having to know about it. And I'm actually really excited about it. And he helped me make this plan. That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, 100%.
She's just kind of emotionless as she tells him this. And he's the one who's like, he's really unraveling. It was hard to see.
Oh my God. She was just so fucking emotionless, dude. She was just emotionless and just these ugly ass sandals. Jesus Christ. So they hug and they kiss and they leave separately. Did she take like a lift back to New York?
I think
from
they
the
had
Hamptons?
cars. Yeah.
Production had cars.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Yeah.
Ramona. God. That's how in I am, dude. That's how fucking in I am. That's my suspension of disbelief is just like, it's suspended.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's the end of season fucking 10. God damn. God damn.
Heavy times.
Heavy. And the reunion's coming up.
Reunions.
Reunions. Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait. Friend, what else did you watch this week?
What else did I watch this week? Of course I watched In the City. And all it does is, build loathing for Amanda Batula. So there's that. And I watched Below Deck Down Under, which, it's, I retain nothing from those episodes, and that is why I watch them. They're great. Oh, and then I watched this documentary on Netflix called The Crash. Have you heard about it?
I have heard about it. I want to watch it.
It's dark and weird and like such a weird, lot of human behavior studying going on. It's very strange and very sad and, as Netflix always does, very well done. So that was what I watched this week. How about you?
I also watched In This City and watched Kyle and Lindsay on Watch What Happens Live right after.
Ooh.
Top tier episode of Watch What Happens Live. It was good. I started watching Hacks again. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. I'm now in season 3, I think. So again, I'm like a couple seasons behind, but it's so good. My God, the writing and the acting is just like, oh, holy shit, so good. Watching Widow's Bay on Apple TV.
Oh yeah, I hear that's great.
It is real scary. Mm-hmm. It's scary and
but
funny. And,
yeah.
It's like Yellow Jackets meets something Mike Flanagan, but also funny. Not funny enough though sometimes. Like I look at Josh and I'm like, I don't know if I could fucking watch this, and I can watch scary stuff, but it's really good. And then even though it came out back in November, I didn't watch it yet, but started watching Palm Royale, season 2 of Palm Royale. Oh my God, I just want to like AR VR that show so bad. Watched the season finale of Saturday Night Live, and still doing the rewatch of Summer House with Josh, season 6. Yep.
Different time,
dude. But it's so interesting to go back and watch it again, knowing what I know now. Yep. And what was your antidepressant, friend?
Honestly, my antidepressant this week is, and this may just be a signature of my age, was rest. I always feel guilty when I prioritize rest. But I take this exercise class at 6 a.m., which means I have to wake up at 5:30. And I woke up on Tuesday morning and I didn't feel right, but I was like, just get dressed and try. And I put on my sports bra and my leggings and I was like, I really don't feel well. And somehow the thought occurred to me, if you had a friend who was up at this hour and said, I really feel like I should go to this class, but I kind of feel like shit and like I'm overtired, and I would be like, go back to bed. Who cares? It's one class. Who cares? And I'm so grateful that thought passed through my head, because it's counterintuitive for me to take off the sports bra and leggings once they're on, but I did. And I got back in my little cozy pajamas And I got back in bed and I had the sweetest like 90-minute snuggle with my dog. And it was just like, and the rest of the day opened up so much more gently and probably safely. And like, I don't know, there were a lot of benefits to taking a rest. And it's just so interesting to me how it just is not, it's never an option. But I'm such a better person when I'm a rested person. And that in itself is an antidepressant. Proper rest is an antidepressant. And it sounds
100%.
so goddamn boring. It sounds so beige and lame, but that's my own judgment on it. It's actually so vibrant. My life that day was so beautiful because I hadn't pushed myself to my limit, rushed home to take a shower to get ready to get on the call at 9 or whatever. You know, I just like took it fucking easy for a morning. And I snuggled in the coziest sheets with the sweetest dog. And like that was better than a workout that day. Not every day, but that day.
I love that for you. Absolutely. No, I'm serious. Margie, I talk about decolonizing rest a lot.
It's in theory,
so
it's like holy, you know,
proud
like
of you.
we're all
It
supposed to take a
is.
whole day where we just don't do a damn thing. I had to convince myself to take 90 minutes off. Like, what the fuck?
Capitalism and white supremacy have us thinking we need to be productive all the time.
It's not all external. It is in me. It's fear and needing to prove myself. And I'll at least say I did that today if nothing else comes. Like it's a weird internal monologue that has nothing to do. My 5:30 monologue doesn't have anything to do with capitalism. That starts around 10:30, you know, then it gets weird. But 5:30 is all my own weird, like punishing, unpleasant, whatever. However, with this many years in therapy and 12-step rooms and stuff, thank God it only took me getting into the sports bra and the leggings to take a pause and go like, wait a minute. If someone you love was about to do this, would you tell them, go forth? No, you would say, get back in your cozy bed. I want to see you on the other side of that nap. So
I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy that you did that. That's
Me
really
too.
so loving. I love that.
It's
That's
a practice. I don't always do that, but this week I did. So there we go. And what was your antidepressant?
So I am being invited all the time by my therapists with an S, my God, that my feelings aren't emergencies, number one. Number two, just because I'm having bad feelings doesn't mean that my life is bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my feelings are uncomfortable, but when I look on paper, like what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm doing these things that are very loving despite feeling so shitty right now. And that to me is a revolution. Like I am having internal revolutions that are very uncomfortable, but being able to finally start to embody that, like, oh, just because I'm wildly uncomfortable does not mean that anything is wrong. Because I equate them. Something is wrong if I'm feeling X, Y, or Z. So what that looked like this week is that I shared last week that I've started working out again. Well, it just wasn't, I don't think I had a good fit with my last trainer. And so I don't know. It's very possible that a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, I would have sat around for a month finding another place to go work out. But instead, it was less than a week before I found another place. And I worked out this morning with a new trainer, and I'm just spending a lot of time getting curious. I also napped today. I was so tired, and I was like, I already fed myself, and I was like, I'm like, Ramona, you're exhausted. So I took a nap, and it really helped. And it wasn't like hiding or like trying to avoid my life. I was like, you need to sleep. So I listened to my body, and that was like really, really, like I said, the word I used before, revolutionary for me. So yeah, I don't feel good right now, but I feel hopeful, and I'm acknowledging, oh my God, I don't know what just happened, but I got kicked out.
You suddenly, you just like evaporated. It was so crazy, but I'm glad you could get back in. It's fine. The recording is still going, so like it's all good.
All right. Well, folks, we just had some technical difficulties where I got kicked out of our studio and Margie is still here. So let's hope and pray that everything is going to work out. I don't remember what I was saying. Do you remember what I was saying?
You were talking about basically like the revolution of rest.
Oh yeah, the revolutionary for me to, instead of just like straight up judging something, is like observe, like just practicing being aware and practicing like, okay, like doing new things. Like today, I started getting really triggered by how overwhelmed I felt about all the things I want to get done before the weekend. It started making me want to like freak out and get anxious. And I took a deep breath and I said, you know what? Set a timer for 10 minutes. See what you can get done in 10 minutes. And then I set another timer for 10 minutes and then another timer for 10 minutes. And what I got done in a half an hour was like miraculous to me. And it made me feel so much better. So like that shit feels like an antidepressant right now. Like finally starting to embody things that my therapists have been encouraging me and inviting me and urging me to do for years now. And it's okay. It's okay that it took this long. Whatevs, you know?
100%. It's just a tribute to like the effort pays off, you know? Like it really truly does.
And doing things differently, like not wanting to fucking have a conversation like Kyle's having. I'm sorry, I'm stressed. I'm sorry, I'm stressed. Like there's only so many times that people that you love can hear, I'm sorry, I was stressed. Like, yes, and you don't have to blow up. So today it's like 10 minutes, a 10-minute timer.
It's what Ciara said to Amanda, like you are in charge of your own life and you're not just going to sit around and not do something about these circumstances that are making you cry, you know? So that's very powerful. 10 minutes at a time, man. It's real.
10 minutes at a time, man. So I'm feeling very hopeful. And like, I love looking at it. I love being able to see it. There's still hope yet, you know? Anyway. Woo! I am so grateful that that I was able to jump back into this recording. I was panicking. I'm not going to lie. I was straight up like, why is this happening? Anyway.
I think it's fine. It looks like it's A-okay.
I think so too. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you know of somebody else who is as enwrapped with what is happening in the summer house sphere as much as we all are, it would mean so much to us if you could pass the podcast on. If you are in your podcast platform of choice and you would like to give us a review, that would also mean so much. And we would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It is so helpful. Thank you. Margie, I'm so grateful to have been able to discuss this entire season, this season finale with you, and that we have these reunion episodes to look forward to. Like, I'm so grateful.
Oh my God. I cannot wait for these reunions. I swear to God, part of the reason In the City fell flat is because I'm like, I just don't care until we figured out this Amanda West stuff. The rest of this, everything feels like bullshit. So
yeah,
I'm really,
agreed.
really looking forward to seeing them all like really get into it and hash it out.
Me too.
And as Andy Cohen said, it was like the most intense reunion he's ever done. And he's done like 200 or something. So
yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Take really, really good care of yourself. We're recording this a few days before Memorial Day weekend. If you're listening to us in the United States, have a great 3-day weekend full of lots of rest and fun and hope and awareness. God. Anyway.
And barbecues and friends
yes.
and whatever else you want.
Yes.
And we will talk next week. Reunion part 1 next week.
For sure. Oh my God. Can't wait. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are, obviously, not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.